Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn our second grammar topic, that is the passive voice. In first video we have learned our first grammar topic, the tenses. In that we have learned all 12 tenses as well as the all types of verb forms, 4 types of verb forms. The first form of the verb, that is main verb. Second form of the verb, that is past form of the verb. Third form of the verb, that is past participle, and fourth form of the verb, that is present participle. Now in this grammar topic, the passive voice, just one thing you have to remember that is most important, that you have to use the third form of the verb, that is past participle, in the sentence. That is compulsory. Now we are going to learn the passive voice. To learn, we have to understand what is active voice and what is passive voice. Now in active voice, the subject is the doer of an action. Okay, means that subject is doing the action. That's why that is active voice. And in passive voice, subject is the receiver of an action. That's why that is passive voice, because the subject is passive in the sentence. Now let's see the introduction of the topic. The passive of an active tense is formed by putting the verb to be into the same tense as the active verb and adding the past participle of the active verb. It means when we are changing the sentence from active to passive, we have to use to be form of the verb as well as the past participle to make active to passive. The subject of the active verb becomes the agent of the passive verb. Now when you are writing the active voice sentence, at the time whatever the subject will be there, that will become the agent in the passive voice when you will change the active to passive. Let's see ahead. The agent is very often not mentioned. When it is mentioned, it is preceded by and placed at the end of the clause. Now this thing also you have to remember. If you do not want to put agent in the passive voice, then also the sentence is correct. But if you are using the agent, then you have to use the word, the preposition by before the agent, before ending of the clause. Now let's see the types of tenses and how the passive will be done in all tenses. The first tense is simple present tense. The sentence of the simple present tense is he delivers the letters. Now if we want to change the same sentence into passive, the sentence will be the letters are delivered. Here you can see the agent is not used, but if we want to use the agent, we have to add by. The letters are delivered by him. So this thing you have to remember. Second is simple past tense. He delivered the letters. Delivered is the second form of the verb. He delivered the letters. The passive of the sentence is the letters were delivered by him. Third is simple future tense. He will deliver the letters. The passive is the letters will be delivered by him. Present continuous tense. He is delivering the letters. The passive of the sentence is the letters are being delivered. Past continuous tense. He was delivering the letters. The passive voice of the same sentence is the letters were being delivered by him. Now going to sentences, here there are two verbs. Going is also verb and deliver is also verb. So the sentence of the active voice is he is going to deliver the letters, and the passive of the sentence is the letters are going to be delivered. The present perfect tense. Present perfect tense, the active voice sentence is he has delivered the letters, and the same passive voice is the letters have been delivered by him. Here the letters have been delivered is used because the letters are plural, that's why have is used, not the has. Past perfect tense, he had delivered the letters. Passive is the letters had been delivered by him. Here future perfect tense is not mentioned, but I am making the sentence of the same. The sentence is he will have delivered the letters. The passive of the same sentence is the letters will have been delivered by him. The next is infinitive sentence. He has to deliver the letters. Passive is the letters have to be delivered by him. Modal auxiliaries. He must deliver the letters. The letters must be delivered by him. These are the all tenses and how to do active to passive of the same tense. Now let's see the formation of the same tenses. Now let's start with the present tense. First of all, simple present tense. To make the affirmative into passive voice, you have to use the format that is subject means the object of the active voice plus am, is, are. It means the to be form of the verb plus past participle. If you will use this format, it will become your passive voice. To make negative sentence, you have to use the format subject plus am, is, are plus not plus past participle. Interrogative sentences, in that you have to use the format that is am or is or are plus subject plus past participle plus question mark. To make the WH question, you have to just add WH word before the interrogative formation. It is very simple. Now let's see the present continuous tense. In present continuous tense, to make affirmative sentence in the passive voice, you have to use the format that is subject plus am, is, are plus being plus past participle. To make negative in the present continuous tense, you have to use the format that is subject plus am, is, are plus not plus being plus past participle. Now let's see the interrogative. For making interrogative, you have to use the format that is am, is, are plus subject plus being plus past participle. So these are the format for the present continuous tense: affirmative, negative and interrogative. And to make WH, you have to just add WH word before the interrogative formation. Now let's see the present perfect tense. Present perfect tense, the format for the affirmative sentence is subject plus have or has plus been plus past participle. Negative sentence formation is subject plus have or has plus not plus been plus past participle. Interrogative sentence formation is have or has plus subject plus been plus past participle plus question mark. These are the formation of the present perfect tense sentence. Now one more thing you have to remember, when you are making WH question with WH word who, the example is who delivers the letters. Who delivers the letters. This is active voice. when you will make the passive voice of the same sentence, what you will do? You will write by whom the letters are delivered, or by whom's are the letters delivered. So the formation will change, because by whom, by will come first. By whom are the letters delivered. Now let's see the past tense. To make past tense, simple past tense, the format you have to use, that is, first affirmative sentence, subject plus was or were plus past participle. Negative sentence, subject plus was or were plus not plus past participle. Third is interrogative sentence, was or were plus subject plus past participle plus question. So these are the formation of the simple past tense. Now let's see the past continuous tense. Subject plus was or were plus being plus past participle. This is past continuous tense, affirmative. Now let's see the negative. Subject plus was or were plus not plus being plus past participle. To make the interrogative, you have to use the format, that is, was or were plus subject plus being plus past participle plus question mark. These are the formation of the past continuous tense. Now let's see the past perfect tense. To make past perfect tense in passive voice, we have to use the formation for the affirmative is subject plus had plus been plus past participle. Next is negative sentence. To make negative, you have to use the format, that is, subject plus had plus not plus been plus past participle. To make interrogative, the formation is had plus subject plus been plus past participle plus question mark. Question mark is not mentioned here, but you have to remember the question mark is very important to make interrogative sentence. The next is future tense, simple future tense. To make simple future tense in passive voice, you have to use the format is subject plus will plus be plus past participle. To make negative, you have to use the format is subject plus will plus not plus be plus past participle. To make the interrogative, you have to use the format is will plus subject plus be plus past participle plus question mark. Here, as I have already said, future perfect tense is not mentioned, but I am telling you the formation of the same. For affirmative, you have to use the format is subject plus will or shall plus have plus been, B-E-E-N, been plus past participle. To make negative, you have to use the format is subject plus shall or will plus have plus not plus been plus past participle. To make the interrogative, you have to use the format is will plus have plus subject plus been plus past participle plus question mark. In all tenses, to make in WH questions, you have to do one thing only, that is, you have to put WH word before the interrogative sentence. Then it will make the WH question. It's very simple. To make going to sentence into passive voice, you have to use the format is subject plus verb to be, that is am, is, are, plus going to plus be plus past participle, that is affirmative sentence. To make negative, you have to use the format is subject plus verb to be plus not plus going to plus be plus past participle. To make interrogative, you have to use the format is to be form of the verb plus subject plus going to plus be plus past participle plus question mark. These are the formation of the all tenses to make into passive voice. Now let's see some rules to make active to passive. This thing you have to remember well. Active to passive. To change active to passive, you have to remember this thing. The object of the active voice sentence becomes the subject of the passive voice sentence. As already I have said, let's see it with that example. Agatha Christie wrote this book. In this sentence, Agatha Christie is the subject, wrote is the verb, and this book is an object. When we are making the same sentence into passive, this book, which is object in the active voice, will become the subject in the passive voice. This book was written by Agatha Christie. The second point is we change the main verb of the active voice sentence into the passive verb. See here, you can see in the sentence wrote is the second form of the verb. It means that is simple past tense. But when we have changed the same sentence into passive, we have used the third form of the verb, that is past participle. But the tense remains unchanged. But we have not changed the tense. The third is the subject of the active voice sentence becomes the agent of the passive sentence. Here in the example you can see Agatha Christie in the active voice is the subject of the sentence, but in passive voice it becomes an agent of the sentence. It is placed after the past participle and it is preceded by the preposition by. Now let's see ahead. Here you can see the example. Leslie took this photograph yesterday. Here Leslie took this photograph yesterday. So object, this photograph will become the subject. Took is the verb, will change into passive verb, that is was taken, and Leslie is the subject, will become an agent by Leslie, and the time complement or other words will remain same and will come at the end of the sentence yesterday. Here let's see the another thing, that is by or with. In the passive voice we use by with the agent to refer to by whom the action is being done. Okay, it means which shows the subject. The door was opened by Mr. Black. Mr. Black is an agent. The second point is with, to refer to the instrument, object or material that was used for something to be done. Example, the door was opened with a key. With a key is an object. Okay, so here we have to use with. The second example is the omelette was made with eggs, cheese and peppers. So here the material that was used to make omelette, that's why it is preceded by with. If the subject is there, then we have to use by. Now let's see ahead. Double object verbs. If in the same sentence double objects are given, then how to do the passive? When we have verbs that take two objects, like for example give somebody something, we can convert the active sentence into a passive one into two ways. Let's see an example. By making the indirect object the subject of the passive voice sentence, which is also the way that we usually prefer. Or second one is by making the direct object the subject of the passive voice. Example is given here. Rick gave me this book. So you can see here there are two objects given. Me is an indirect object and this book is direct object. So you can make passive voice in two ways. The first is me. Me indirect object is given. By that we can start the sentence. I was given this book by Rick. And we can use the direct object given to make the passive voice. This book was given to me by Rick. I hope you clear about the double object. Now, the subjects in the active voice given, how they will change into passive voice. Here the table is given that you have to remember well. If in active voice the subject is given I, it will change into me in passive voice. If the subject is you, it will remain same. If the subject is he, will change into him. If the subject is she, it will change into her. If the subject is it will not change. If the subject is we, will change into us. If the subject is you, will change into you only. If the subject is they, it will change into them. I hope now you are clear about the passive voice. If you have any doubt or query in this topic, you can directly contact me on my number, that is 8320060822. 8320060822. Best of luck. Thank you very much.